Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. Appreciate you taking a few moments. If you want to follow along, we're going to look at two verses this morning. Genesis chapter 13, verses number 8 and 9. And we have these words in the continuing drama, saga of Abram and Lot. Verse 8, Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we're kinsmen. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If you take the right hand, then I will go to the left." This is a somewhat, especially I think in our culture today, even in their culture, a surprising turn of events that in a land, in a time today, again speaking in our time, when everybody demands their rights, when everybody is always clamoring about what's fair and what's not fair, Abram chooses to defer. He chooses to allow Lot the upper hand. I think most of us realize that when you play tic-tac-toe, that the person who goes first generally has the advantage. And Abram has just given over the advantage. As they try to decide a means, Abram proposes as a means of bringing peace between he and Lot and between their servants. He says we need to divide. And instead of taking his legal, traditional, law-giving position of choosing, being the first to choose, he defers. He allows Lot to pick. He says, "You look around, decide which way you want to go. Whichever way you go, me and my people will go the other way." And I think again, if you were to present that in most boardrooms and most businesses, corporations, the leaders, the governing bodies of those organizations would lose their mind. Why in the world would you let the other person choose first, especially when we see what we're going to see in the next passage, and certainly Abram's already looked around and observed this himself, that one direction is going one way is what the Bible calls well watered and green, and the other way isn't. And in fact, it says Lot looked and saw that this side over here was good for cattle and this side wasn't. And so obviously it's not like the old "let's make a deal" where you got a couple doors and you don't know what's behind them. You're just taking a gamble. They knew. Abram knew ahead of time when he gave Lot this decision that what the land looked like. This was not a blind choice. And obviously, unless Lot is just extremely magnanimous and extremely grateful to Abram for everything he's done, and based on what we know about Lot, what we see about Lot, you wouldn't think he would be. He's going to choose the better side. And Abraham says, "Go ahead, you pick." Why would he do that? What does that represent? I can't answer everything for him, but one thing it does seem clear. That even though Abram had every right to make the first choice and decide which way he was going to go and send Lot off in the other direction, he chose in this situation to trust God rather than trusting. We have a saying: "Seeing is believing," And what Abraham could see, or Abram, excuse me, what Abram could see was over here's green fields, over here's barren fields. But he chose instead of trusting his eyes to trust his God. God had promised him to take care of him. God had promised him to make a great nation of him. God had promised these things, and so Abram was able to say, do what you want to. You go whichever direction you think is best, and I'm going to go with God. What a marvelous lesson for you and I today, that we work, we strive, we pray God would give us that kind of wisdom, strength, courage to follow Him even when the other direction looks better. When that job over there may pay more, that may be everything about that direction may look better, may seem like to everybody else in the world that's the direction to go. But God is leading in that direction, and so I'm going to trust Him. I hope you pray and work, and certainly myself as well, that we would work towards that kind of faith, that faith is going even when we don't see. It's the substance, it's things not seen, it's things we can't even imagine, is what the Bible teaches. And that we would learn to trust Him even when the other path looks better, that we would trust God. You think about it. Have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.